morning, everybody. Welcome to the Empower Hour, where we strive to go ahead and bring you incredible value to go ahead and take your business, personal production, your agency to the next level. And this month, we've had a series of special guests on, and that's why I'm extremely psyched, pumped up to bring our next guest on. He is a master at annuities, three-time Hall of Fame producer, owner of FFL Primetime, the one, the only, Jesse Hantla. Jesse, what's happening, brother?
What's up, guys? Ready to
Man,
get it on. Let's go, man.
Let's go, man. We're excited for 2024. You know, this is, of course, part of the Tri-State team with Mark Me. This is our telesales platform. And so we've been talking about this, and, last month, this month, all of the, using 100% of your license, right? And, there's so many people that want to get into the annuity game, and there's a big push, right? Not only with that, but the IULs with the SRS team, which you're a part of. And so I'm super excited to have you on, man, because there's a lot of people that are going to be taking a lot of notes. You've got insane value to bring. But before we kind of get into that, Jesse, tell us a little bit about you, man. Like, who is Jesse? Where are you from? What do you like to do? What did you do before FFL? Tell us a little bit about you, man.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for having me here. I do appreciate it. And I'm a very interactive person, so I'd love to see faces. I feed off energy. And, one of my boys, Mark, Coach T over here. I'm gonna Roger on you. There we go, baby. Good to see your face, man. But guys, my name's Jesse Hantla. Prior to FFL, I was a master mechanic with BMW and Tesla. I was a nightlife DJ, had zero experience in the industry before I got into it. And prior to FFL, I was working at one of those, those agencies where they start you at like a 30% comp and they say, hey, you go tap on everyone's shoulder and recruit them, give them some stupid pitch about, hey, you look real sharp. You want to come work with me? I think you'd be real good at this. I found out that I was a pretty good recruiter. But I found out that recruiting to sell was not really a great model for where I wanted to take my business, because recruiting people that fall off, guess what happens when people fall off? So does the money. So does the business. But cool thing is without having any experience here in the industry, it's been able to allow me to learn and allow to grow so much here. And then, some of my passions I've always had has been music. I haven't really done it as much. I used to be an avid video game player. So like right before I was in FFL, like 3 years this week. So it's kind of like a weird week for me, honestly. There's a lot of emotions of like hashing back up about where I was and how far I've came. And guys, like, I don't really feel like I've accomplished even that much. And I don't want to get up here and tell you how special I am, because I'm just an everyday person. But I had my back against the wall when I first started. I was donating plasma on unemployment, had $400 to my name. And I just said, you know what? I'm either going to get evicted or I'm going to get this working. And so I literally bought all the leads, watched all the videos. And then I was just thinking, Sean Mike was able to do this, going through all the adversity he did to start a $1 billion company. And we may not have hit the billion, but I already registered as a $1 billion company, because we've already accomplished $1 billion, and we're already accomplishing $2 billion and $10 billion here within Family First Life. And every single one of us here has the opportunity to have $1 billion agency. But we got to think about that as a vision quest, So, I like to just give you a little bit of insight about who I am. So it's like, I'm not special. I don't really have a crazy background with a lot of this experience, but I was super hungry to learn. I had my back against the wall, and I just got to work, guys. So
That's awesome, dude. Like, I love to hear that. Like, there's not many people, Jesse, that come into FFL with a lot of money, right? There's a handful, right? But most of us do come into FFL with our back up against the wall. And I think it's really important to go ahead, because a lot of people see the success and they don't know the struggle, right? So that's why I always like to start with that. And, you shared with me, when we were down there in Boca with Sean at the Speaker U event, and I really resonated with you, man. You're a super humble guy. I love that. Because nobody, you're absolutely right. None of us are any more special than anybody else here at FFL, but we all have that vision, right? And we just got to hold on to it, and then look to the others that have gone before us and look to them for the advice and everything else. And so I love the fact that you're always willing to like give back and to like help other people, right? So thanks for sharing that with me, man. You're no wonder we resonate, because you're a BMW guy. I was a BMW guy too, but you were a mechanic. You fixed them, but I sold them, right?
Yep.
So, all right, man. So who you went into the who kind of got you introduced into FFL? You're with another practice company,
Mhm.
right? What did you like about FFL? Like, what intrigued you about it?
Um, I'll be very transparent. Every time I would, prior to me being in Family First Life, I wasn't very intrigued because I thought it wasn't real.
Right,
And every time I would see these ads pop up, get X amount of commission, be it starting at this, I was like, there's no way. Like, I've recruited 250 people and I've sold like $250,000 worth of insurance this year already. And this is when I thought selling $250,000 of insurance was actually something really big
right.
until you
Which
get to
it
Family
is, by
First
the way.
Life.
If you're doing $250,000, it is.
It is. It is totally a lot of insurance, but then my perspective was just going, okay, I've already done this and people without experience can start higher than me. This doesn't make sense. There's no way it's real. And what are leads? Oh, that's got to be some weird gimmicky, you know, thing to like rip people off, because I was so jaded because the model that I was in, it was just bad. So I was really not that intrigued, but then someone just brought it to my attention and it almost like forced me back into insurance. And then as soon as I got on the as soon as I got onto all the Slack groups and I got really plugged in and I actually started to download information off of our number one university here, it's called YouTube. Um, I was able to download as much information. Then I saw people like Nina coming in to Family First Life, helping 40, 50, 60, 70 families plus a month. And I'm going, okay, this was working for too many people. And then I was seeing 18 to 20-year-olds that I was working at the practice company with that didn't do really anything. And they were helping 20 to 40 families here. And I was going, how are these 18-year-olds making this much money? If they're doing it, why can't I get started faster? And that was really the most intriguing thing, because it was essentially the money at first, but the money eventually wasn't enough to keep me rolling, right? And so I've always had this statement, and it's always mission driven. It's always mission before commission, because if we get our eyes laser beamed only on money, we're going to just sit here and sell. People aren't going to stay on the books, or we're going to be strong arming people into sales, and we're not really going to connect and resonate. So really feel like the humbleness that Sean Mike's always led about, his fierce mentality when it comes to just run through walls, let's make a bunch of mess. I resonate with that because I just like to, I just need to know a few bullet points and then I can run. And before there was so many like rules and structure and this and that. And like, I am a big structure and system guy, but I don't like limitations, right? I just want to go crazy and just go fast. And the humbleness of Sean, how hungry everybody was, the success that everybody had. And then one of the coolest things for me was the ability to have an exit deal, right? Because yes, I do want to continue to protect families, but what if there's another level to this that I could get into, where becoming an integrity partner? What would that do for my life? What would that do for my staff's life? What would that do for the impacts of further generations to become an integrity partner and to train other people to become one? And it's crazy to see where everything's turned. I mean, I'm not an integrity partner yet on
Yes.
paper, but I already consider myself to be an integrity partner. But it's like, but you're telling yourself these things every single day. I'm an integrity partner. I'm the number one producer. I'm one of the top annuity salesmen. Like, I'm telling myself these things every single day, and my like fake it till you make it it's starting to catch up, you know, like those words of affirmations of just constantly telling myself. I don't know why. Like I'm answering this in a very long way. So sometimes I do this where, you know, you'll ask me something and I'll just keep rambling on because I'm feeding off again. I'm seeing the eyes, right? So
Yeah, I resonate with that, by the way. Just ask my staff.
I know we got into that. We were like, all right, dude, I'll see you later. And the next thing you know,
Yeah,
we were
30 minutes
sitting.
later, dude, we're
I
out in the
was like
parking lot. We're just rambling on.
hour and a half later. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
we did that.
and you still had to drive. Man,
Yeah,
I
that was
love
hard.
it. Mission before commission. Write that down. That's a golden nugget right there. And you mentioned about the YouTube training. Dude,
Mhm.
like prior preparation prevents poor performance. And so obviously you were a student of the game when you first got in with the YouTube videos and everything else. There's so much
Still
information
am.
that all of the agents are just pouring out, you know, pumping free information. I love that about Sean. He's like, just let everybody know,
Yep.
right? Feed it to the masses. And so you were obviously a student of the game early on. And I want to kind of get into the annuities, but I think it's really important for everybody to know what your progress was like with FFL. So were you were obviously with another company before, and so when you came in, were you like, you know, like my progress? I went from final expense to mortgage protection, and then I finally, towards the end of my first year, I got up enough nerve to talk about it in the news, right? So what was your progress like?
Uh, when I first got here, like I mentioned, guys, I had about $400 to my name. So my progress was initially let's just get the ball moving, right? And so I was buying 1 month, 3 month instant internets. So like $400, if you can stretch that out between $11, $9 leads, that doesn't go too far. So I ended up having to stack up. And then the progress for me, what really happened was as soon as I could just get a little cushion is where I started to add systems. So then I got on call tools, and then pretty much from I would say the first 30, 40 days is when I began asking the golden question. I didn't really do anything with it. And for those of you that don't know what the golden question is, it's what else do you have that acts like life insurance? And now I've also clued it in. So if I'm running a final expense or a mortgage deal, what else do you have that acts like life insurance to take care of your final expenses? What else do you have that acts like life insurance to take care of your mortgage protection? And the reason why I'm asking it that way is because I want to connect it directly to why I'm in that appointment. But the progress, I would say it was around 5, 6 months to where I started selling IULs and annuities. But it was actually a really like it was like a very I mean, even still now, it's very roller coastery, right? I haven't had that steady ascend yet. I've still had a lot of ups and downs, but the ups and downs are different levels, right? But my first annuity I think I sold was about 7, 8 months in, but this was after I had taken probably 25, 30 attempts at selling them, doing them myself. And I was just like, this isn't working out, man. Like, why can't I do this? Like, too many people are helping families with life insurance. And I see these people popping off with annuities. Like, I need to get better. And like you were mentioning, definitely staying a student to the game. But what really unlocked it for me was having the ability to connect with someone that was doing things at a much higher level. And I got in touch with David Allen at the time. And he was like, dude, just do this, this, and this. You're overcomplicating it. Do this, this, and this. Just keep it more simple. Ask this question, ask that question. This connects to that. This connects to that. This connects to this. And I was like, oh my God, why have I been like over explaining and overselling the annuities? Like you're trying to give them too much information. It's not you're selling it on logic. And I was like, oh, got it. And that's
What did
been
that look? What did that look like? What were some of those things that he was telling you to, keep it simple?
keeping it simple was don't over elaborate about like index strategies and don't talk about participation rates because I was going in so deep explaining how everything works, why it works that way. And as I was giving them more information, the client would just literally look at me and go, huh? Like blank. And then I'm like, yeah, the participation rate. So this means this and that. And 10%, multiply it by 175. That means you get a 17% return. They're like, I don't get this. Like, what? So, so now the way that I'm actually explaining that whole situation, it's all right. So it's going to provide guarantees because I always design the program with a fixed rate and it has a minimum guaranteed contract value. And if I'm talking on Zoom or if I'm in person, I've always talked with my hands because if I'm just sitting here talking and my body language is so still, sometimes people can get like bored and tired and want to fall asleep. Because let's be very honest, guys, talking about life insurance and annuities, is it really, really exciting? I mean, are we talking about like that
It's
really nice beach house or that really cool car or, you know, those new shoes or that video game or something? Like,
it's not too
no,
sexy, right?
not too sexy. But I tell you what, it's very important. So when I'm explaining it, so it's going to perform with the gains upward. You never go down. It'll always stay the same. So it has an increase. You can never lose a dollar. That means moving forward, you're only going up. So in the future, you don't have to worry about that downside like happened 2008. Now you could get a premium bonus. You'll also be probate free. Like there's 7 bullet points, but I want to give them like 3 or 4 because I just need to get you enough to buy bought on the concept. Because if I start over explaining it, oh man, like it's like, dude, really? Like, are you pitching
Yeah.
me on everything? Like, I don't need to know every bell and whistle. Like, leave a little mystery behind it. And then when they do the application, then like just hammer everything in. So you're locking it in. But we've got to be able to do that. But
Well,
yeah,
let me
so I
ask you
guess
this: like, what are some of the basics that you got participation rates, cap rates, this and that, indexing, right? Different index strategies. What are the basics that agents would need to know to feel confident to go ahead and talk like they know what they're talking about? Like, I really don't think that doing I've done like about 4 million in annuities. I really don't know if I could confidently explain participation rates, cap rates, everything else, because I've always just kept it so simple for myself and explaining it. Now, but like probate, I think probate would be an important one. Explain that to some of the agents that don't know what that is.
the easy way to think about it is I always ask them, hey, Shannon, by chance, have you ever heard about when someone passes away and you hear about how they're fighting over the house or the money?
Yeah.
That situation you never have to worry about with probate because in the event of someone passing, it stays out of court.
Okay. So the court's not involved.
Yeah. They don't need to be involved because it's going to be paid out like a death benefit, like life insurance.
Got it. Real
And
simple.
simple. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to over explain. Well, yeah, your money gets locked up and this and that, and the rules in 6 months, 12 months. Like you could talk about that, but keep it as like less is more. So I try
I
to
love
use
that, man.
yeah. When
I
I'm
love
when
it.
I'm talking on calls, I like to over explain. But when I'm talking to clients, I like to just get straight and punchy to the point. So that way I can be a little bit more powerful with everything we got going on. But guys, if you do want to learn more about IUL's annuities, how to build an agency, go to familyfirstlifeschool.com. Also, if you guys currently do not have a financial inventory that does not have the golden or the silver question there, or you need some word tracks for how to sell annuities, I've put together this for the SRS team. And it's a full breakdown of the financial inventory that's helped me hit Hall of Fame 3 years in a row. And the reason that I designed it this way is because I needed to have something in front of me every single time, making sure 10 out of 10 shots I'm taking, not 3 out of 10, because I remembered 10 out of 10 appointments, I'm hitting it nail on the head every single time where medical conditions, anything that has to do with mortgage, rent, do they have life insurance? If so, is it through work? Who's their beneficiary? Are you more of a spender or saver? That's the silver question.
Over question.
If we're asking that, guys, and the reason why I am asking that, because let's say I'm sitting down with Coach T and he's like, yeah, man, I just need to get some mortgage protection. Awesome. So we're running through it. We got mortgage. Okay. So Mark, what was your current mortgage? It's $2,000 a month, 30 years. Yep. refi or new purchase, new purchase. Interest rate this, boom, boom. Do you have anything extra to pay off your mortgage? Yeah, I spend about 400 or 500 a month. Got it. Clue right there. For those of you that probably know this already, and for those of you who don't, that's the little light bulb that's going off in your head saying, I got about $500 I could reposition potentially towards an Americo CBO, an IUL, some other way or fashion, right? Now, who's your beneficiary? Mark, are you more of a spender or saver? Man, I'm a saver, but my lady, she's the spender, I'm the saver, I try to like hold back on the reins so that way we can have the future. And haha, yeah, my wife's the same way. I'm not even married. Um, right? Or yeah, my girlfriend's the same exact way. She does that. She spends all my money. I got to keep working. That's why I'm here working 13 hours a day, serving on Sunday. Um, and I try to connect and just be comical around it. Okay. Now, Mark, do you have anything else that acts like life insurance? Well, what do you mean, Jesse? That'll help pay off your mortgage. I still don't get what you mean. Like a 401k, IRA, Roth, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, pension plans, CDs, annuities, savings, anything significant? Yeah, man, I got a 401k, I got stocks, I got bonds, I got a pension plan, and I got a ton of savings, because I'm the saver, but my wife, she likes to spend my money. I totally understand what you're going with this. All right, now with your 401k, is that from a current or past employer? Like, I'm not asking how much. I'm just going to go straight into the bullet points. Is that current or past employer? It's a mix of both. Got it. Now, Mark, I'm not sure if you knew, but is this money protected from market risk? And then he's like, but did you notice how I'm talking kind of like upbeat? And then I was like, hey, Mark, by chance, is this protected from market risk? Oh, no, it's not, man. I just lost like 21%. Oh, okay. And I'm like, ooh. And my body language shifts. Growth. I love it. But my body language is going to shift. Now, Mark, is your current income source, is that going to be employed, self-employed, Social Security, disability? Obviously, with Mark's age, I'm not going to be asking him about Social Security. I might be asking about disability because he could be injured, right? Obviously, he's not in retirement because he mentioned he's working. So some of these bullet points will make sense for your client. So just apply what it's there. And notice, guys, I'm just moving through it. I uncovered the money. I know he's a saver. Because he's a saver, there's an opportunity for what? An annuity, right? And then on top of that, because he actually puts about $500 away towards his mortgage, what else does he also save towards his savings? So I'm like, light bulbs are cluing off in my head. He might have $500 to $2,000. And then I hit in this. Now, Mark, between you and your wife, what would you say if we split it kind of even way? How much income do you have and how much does your wife have? Man, I bring about 10 grand home. She brings home about 10 too. Got it. And discretionary income between everything every single month. Oh, it's probably about like $2,000. Man, you weren't kidding. Your wife really is spending your money, right? And he's like, oh, man. And then get into the application, sell the life insurance, sell the final expense, or you could lead up with some of this. Now, Mark, if we could help you build a tax-free retirement, would that be something that you'd be interested in learning about? Boom. Guess what we're already talking about now? Now I'm heading down the lane here with teaching about IULs. So I'm going to say, Mark, we got three options for you. We could either look at a program that's going to cover you for 10, 20, 30 years. That'll be just a straight term. You don't get any money back at the end of time. After another program, option two, after 15, 20, 25, or 30 years, we're going to be able to get you set up with a cashback option. So that means if you're still around and you're still, kicking and cruising, your house may not or may be paid off by this point. They're going to go ahead and return every dollar back to you. Now, if they give you every dollar back, how much did your insurance cost you? Man, it was, I guess, zero. Oh, so you're telling me you got free insurance? Man, that's pretty cool, right? Dang, man. Yeah, I love that. That's so cool. Jesse, like, I want to learn more about that. Now, Mark, you mentioned that we have a tax-free retirement plan you'd be interested in learning to still take care of your mortgage, but any of that money that's compounding over time can turn into a tax-free retirement. Man, I love that. That sounds so cool. Now, Mark, by chance right now, when you're spending money, because there's really four ways when our money comes in. We're either spending it, we're saving it, we're investing it, or we're giving it away, like tithing. if we were to split up your spending habits, what does it look like for that? Well, I spend it, I tithe it, I spend it, and I'm investing it. Okay, cool. Now, when we are doing that, those four ways, is it just going from bank to consumer to tithing? Yeah, that's exactly. Well, would you be interested in learning about how to become your own bank? Man, and like this may not be for everybody that I'm talking about for this, but I'm going to give you like, let's say Mark's a business owner. I'm going to be hitting him on every area. Why? Because I need to feel where he's at. He might want to go, okay, well, infinite banking through whole life is going to be the direction because I want liquidity now. So if he's like, yeah, dude, I just bought a real estate house and I'm buying real estate and renting them out. Okay, cool. So when you're typically doing that, is that money coming straight out of the bank or is that money coming from financing? I do a combination of both. Well, if you could do it yourself from your own bank, would you do that? Yeah, absolutely. Because they just charged me 8.5% over at whatchamacallit bank. Yeah, whatchamacallit bank's got some crazy interest rates, but your bank would only have a 5%. Would you like to save that money there too? So like I'm giving you guys some like word tracks and some clues, how I'm finding the infinite banking, how I'm finding the IULs. Now, let's just say Mark was like he just nailed in right there on the CBO. I just want the 25 year CBO. That's what I want to stay with. I want to be able to pay off my house 5 years early with the cash, and I just want the guarantee number. I don't want it being connected to an index. I don't want it to have any extra cost. I like the CBO. That seems like a affordable option opposed to getting a whole life where I've got to overfund and do this other stuff. All right, totally makes sense. I sell the appointment. And at the very end, I'll circle back around. And Mark, you mentioned that you had a 401k from a current and past employer, some significant savings, stocks, and everything. How much in the collective portfolio you have are you willing to lose if the market does take a downcline? And just shut up. Like, don't say anything. And he's looking, he's thinking, well, Jesse, obviously zero. Got it. Okay. And does the current options of where you have it parked right now allow you to never lose that? So you always get a zero? No, it sure doesn't. Okay. And guys, if you scroll down to page 4, because for me, if I have like bullet points or like scripts, I don't really like to call this a script. I really like things like word tracks because if I can give you one liners to rip off, like and copy and paste and apply it in your own version and way. At the end of that fourth page, or is it? Yeah, fourth page. I'm sorry. You'll see something that's highlighted. It said word tracks for annuities. All right. So Mark, how much of that money in your 401k are you willing to lose? He says zero. Perfect. And if I could protect your money from ever being lost in the market, locking in gains, would you find value in this? Yeah, obviously, Jesse. Like who wouldn't? Okay, perfect. Now, the average growth over the last 10 years has been between 5 and 11% on how these programs are designed. Now, you have protection from downside risk within the market. So if you ever need money, you can never outlive it. Man, that sounds so cool. Like, I wish my dad had this. Yeah, it's never too late. We might be able to help your dad out too, but let's get this at least information in front of you so you understand it. And maybe we could set up an appointment with your dad. That sounds good. Okay, well, reallocating the funds from one piggy bank from another. Guys, like keep it simple. That's how I love to talk about annuities. That's one of my favorite one-liners. So, hey Shannon, man, the cool thing with this annuities, it's like taking your money from one piggy bank to another. Just when we put it over here, we kick it off the counter, the cookie jar drops. Those, have you ever heard that with the cookie jar drops and the crumbs all over the thing, and then your dog's eating all your cookies? Yeah, you don't have to worry about it here because it's got like saran wrap and bubble wrap. It can never break, it can never go down. It's never gonna lose your money. It's always locked in safe.
I love that.
And because who doesn't love cookies? And who
I
hasn't?
love cookies, man.
Hey, I do too. My stomach shows it. So, um, and one of the things, guys, because we all know what breaking glass looks like in the house. And if we have cookies in that jar, man, it's always so depressing. Like grandma just baked cookies. I accidentally slapped the cookie jar off, and now the fresh new cookies are broken. Like, man, that hurts. Like that hits home with me. But like if we're talking about money and connecting it to something that people like cookies, because most people do, I mean, drop a 0 in the chat if you do not like cookies. Yeah, let's see how many people actually respond to this one.
I do not see any zeros.
0.
0.
But yeah, guys, so I wanted to get you some tools, some resources, because the faster that you just start taking swings at this, and look, I didn't know everything, so I ended up giving commission in the beginning because I was looking at it on big picture. If I can learn this faster, I can start to get 100% of my own commission. So I took 50 of 100 several times in a row when it came to my IULs, when it came to my fixed index annuities and infinite banking. Infinite banking for me was a lot more simple for me to personally understand. I just didn't know how to design it or explain it to higher net worth clients. So I gave up more on that end because I was just not sure how to design it with the layering of things. But guys, if we really understand how all this works, we're just finding out what they want to save and what their goals are and what it's for. Right? What do they want to save? What do they want it to be in the future? Who's it going to be benefiting? Are we talking now? Are we talking later? And what's so easy too, I'm going to give you one more golden nugget, okay? When we're talking about annuities, the easiest way to really think about it, you want income now, later, or just for accumulation?
Income now, later, or for accumulation.
Yep.
I
And
love
they
it.
might say, well, can you break that down? I mean, obviously all three sound good. Great. All three of those scenarios is how the annuities work on everyone that we use. Now, let's just say the guy just got declined from life insurance, right? The gal just got declined from life insurance because they have chronic kidney disease. They've got some health condition that's preventing them from getting it started, but they got a bunch of money sitting there. Now, hey, Shannon, have you ever heard of what it sounds like to be self-insured?
No.
Okay. Well, you mentioned you had the IRA, stocks, bonds, and a bunch of money just sitting in your bank, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're saying you got about $550,000 just sitting in your bank?
About that. Yeah.
And by chance, have you ever looked at your statement and seen what it's grown so far this year?
Not much.
So the 0.00 question mark is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have it in any type of money market accounts or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I'm just
So,
sitting there saving, dude.
and like I'm asking these like almost probing questions that dig pain, right? Now, why am I asking that? Because if he starts to think about 0% and then I tell him the average is 5 to 11, he's going to go, okay, what do I have to do? Right? Or let's just say this individual got declined from life insurance. So you could be self-insured, Shannon. The cool thing with this is there's no health requirements. And based off of what you're telling me financially, has your advisor ever called you and said, hey, I've got a program, and let's keep in mind, guys, this is Saturday morning at 9:30 in the morning. So let's just role play it like I'm at the client's house. Hey, Shannon, by chance, has your advisor ever stopped by here about 9:38 in the morning on a Saturday? Said, I've got a program with no fees, no risk, no loss, no cost, and it only participates in the upside?
Never.
Okay. And how much is he actually charging you for your annual statements or quarterly?
Jesse, it's hard for me to kind of decipher everything in that statement, but I know I'm getting hit a lot. And it doesn't make sense to me how much they're actually charging.
I totally understand. So moving forward, within your 401k, how much of that are you willing to lose?
Well, none.
Okay. All right. So if we could protect your money, remove the fees, don't ever have to worry about the loss. There's no cost. All you would be doing is staying self-insured moving forward, and you participate in the upside. Would you find value in that?
Well, I would, but I wonder what the catch is, Jesse.
So the catch is it's a program, let's say for 7, 10, or 15 years. You park your money and it grows like a CD. just much better. There's going to be some other things like a premium bonus that will be attached to it. So when you move it from one piggy bank to another, they're going to say, hey, because you parked your money over here, we're going to give you 11, 16, 18, 30% bonus, depending on which program we choose. Now, when we do that, it also avoids probate. So if you end up passing away down the line, your family never has to worry about fighting over money. It never goes into court. If you ever get sued, nobody can come after this money too. Did you ever hear about like O.J. Simpson? How, you know O.J. Simpson, he couldn't
Yeah.
find the glove or whatever.
Yeah.
You know how he had a bunch of money when he came out of jail? You
No.
know where his money was at?
Where?
Parked in life insurance
Really?
and annuities.
That's how he did it.
And
I
they
don't know if
go,
I want to be like OJ, man, but
oh,
he's smart.
hey, financially I do, because he's
Financially, yeah.
yeah. So,
That's smart.
success leaves clues. And when we move it from one cookie jar to another, I want to pick up those clues so my cookie jar in position B never loses that, and the little critters aren't eating it along the way, right? So
Wow.
I like to sell things that we have to offer. And guys, I don't have my series license. I don't have a 65 or 73 or ABZ license. I don't know what any of that stuff even means, right? I have a life insurance license, not even the health license, a life license. That's it. So for all my life renegades, 5 in the chat, go big. Let's keep going. For those of you guys that are doing the health, that's awesome. Keep protecting. We all need you too. But doesn't matter what you're doing. If we're selling Medicare, if we're selling health insurance, if we're just doing life insurance, every single appointment, you can find these opportunities, but you have to ask the questions. Like, if you're going to take zero opportunity, if you're going to take 0 out of 100 chances, you're always going to have 0. If you're going to take 100 chances 100% of the time, let's just say only 10% of your clients have it. Okay, fantastic. And then another 10% of your clients will do it. Well, let's say you're running 100 appointments a month, 40 appointments on the books, right? And then you're not running 30 every single week. Let's just say it's 100. And only 10% of them have it, and you close 10% of those that do. That's one annuity a month. The average sale on annuity is $181,000. The
It
average
went up.
commission, yeah. So it's between 113 or 181, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And I think our averages here are just potentially higher. And guys, drop a 5 in the chat if all you do is mortgage leads.
There should be quite a few in there.
Okay. I don't see anybody dropping it in the chat. But if you guys, maybe people are shy. They're just like,
Well, I know David Ritter is. I know he's all.
I'm just tuned in. I'm taking notes. Okay. So guys, if you're running life, if you're running mortgage protection, I did see a difference with where I would find them. I found a lot more annuity opportunity or IUL opportunity within mortgage leads. Now we've got these things called IUL leads or be your own bank leads, where these people are essentially making TikTok videos and now they're selling their leads because they have an abundance of them. Guys, like, these are people that are thinking big vision. Not every single one of them is going to have an annuity, but you will find them along the way. Because if people have bank accounts, if people have responsibility adult bills, when they have a mortgage, a lot of the times they've got other things ironed out so they can qualify for the house financially, like a retirement plan, like old 401k, like stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I'm not saying if you don't have a mortgage, you're not going to find it, because another avenue, I heard about this and I just want to spread it. Guys, like, a lot more people nowadays are selling their house and they're renting. Have you ever heard about rental protection insurance? Has anybody heard that line?
Yeah.
I'm glad you have, because I didn't. Anybody? All right. Everyone's shaking their head no. Dude, think about this. Let's say, Sue, you passed away and your husband is relying on your income. How much months of income rental income do you want to make sure he's protected with? Like, instead of thinking about mortgage protection so the houses continue to be paid for, so the bank doesn't take the equity, what about the spouse just not getting evicted so they can continue to pay the bills with the lack of income that's within the household so they can have time to move somewhere else, to downsize? Like, it's the exact same thing. But rental protection, when I heard that, I was like, oh my
It's
God,
money.
that
It's
is
fire.
money. So I'm hearing, and guys, like, you'll notice most of the stuff I learn is because I'm constantly plugging in and learning. I'm around all different types of dial groups. Like, as a 3-time Hall of Fame producer, I'm still going to sales conference. I can't wait to the one coming up here in the beginning of the year. I look forward to these so much because I remember when I was at my first one, February 2021, I was terrified out of my mind. I didn't think I could really excel in this business. Like, yes, I had helped like 10, 15 families a month, but I was terrified because I was literally buying leads, paying bills, catching back up from the carnage I put myself into over the last few years. So it was like I wasn't getting traction in business. And I was like, God, does this work? I like these don't work. And my mindset was so broken at the time. And I was sitting in the last row of the entire conference. Like, nobody could see me. Nobody probably knew I was there. And I was just sitting there taking notes. And I remember there were some individuals that were on stage and they just had something very impactful. It was a very common thing from most of us FFL people. Look, my back was against the wall. I'm not special. I got to work. The leads work because I work. I believe in God. He's not going to let me down, and he's not going to start today. That became my motto. And then from that day moving forward, I just started running. And then fast forward, I started to see the traction coming out of it. But I remember I walked up to Sean Mike, like right when the conference was ending. And I was like, I told one of my friends, she's now my admin. She was an agent working within, not in my agency, but within the agency I was part of when we first started. But she's now my admin. I was like, hey, Sammy, I need you to take a picture when I go run on stage. I'm going to go bum rush the stage. I'm going to go talk to Sean. I'm going to go tell him something crazy. And so I walked up to Sean. I looked him straight in the eyes and I said, Sean, Mike, my name's Jesse Hantla. You don't know me, but you're going to know me. I'm going to do $100,000 before the end of this year in 1 month. And he looked at me. He was like, yeah, okay, let's go, baby. I like crazy. And so, but it wasn't like he didn't, like, he believed, but he looked at me like he laughed because he was like, this guy is psycho. I love it. He's just coming up to me, telling me some crazy lofty goal that I think at the time, not really anybody had done. You know, maybe like 1 or 2 people, but I did it once in July of 2021. And then in December of 2021, I made a bet with an agent where he had to do 20 families. I had to do 100. Okay. And if not, I'm going to shave my head. So those of you that probably saw, you may have seen this video on my Instagram or maybe on Sean Mike's about, a year ago. I ended up helping 92 families out. So I asked Sean Mike, I said, hey man, you got to shave my head. I missed a goal. He's like, how much did you miss it by? I was like, 8,000. He's like, okay. But what's really crazy, guys, literally at like 3 o'clock in the morning, my policy issued, which was like another 22,000 that would have pushed me over the edge. He's like, Jesse, you should have told me. I would have gotten it issued, but I was like, no, I wanted it. Like, I almost wanted my head to be shaven. Like, I wanted it because it was showing integrity. I missed it, and I actually did what I said I was going to do. But then I was so pissed off because I now was walking around looking like some crazy vato from like gang banging, but like in my like normal polos with the family first life stuff. Like, it was such a weird look, and I was so angry about it. I went and did 122 the next month. And guys, like, I'm not telling you this stuff because it's like I'm special or whatever, but if we unlock what's in here, we can go so fast. But if you think about all the things negatively that have happened to you in your life, and you keep grabbing onto that like those strings that are holding you pinned against the wall. You got to start cutting those strings off, cutting those relationships off. You got to cut those people off, because the things from learning that next level, how to sell annuities, how to sell mortgage protection from final expense, how to get into the IUL game for mortgage protection. It's literally one thing that you got to believe in. I can do this. Too many people are doing it and it works. And if I don't know, there's a boot camp. If I don't know, there's the carriers. If I don't know, we call the SRS team. If I don't know, I call my upline. If I don't know, I circle back around and do all of those again. And then keep writing it down. And then as you fail, then you can keep getting better. And as you keep growing through this process, eventually you go from that guy sitting in the back of the room who didn't believe in themselves to fast forward 9 months then from there, speaking and training on stage in front of a sales conference. And then you do it in front of a national conference a few months later from that. Then you hit Hall of Fame. And then you keep running momentum. And then you hit Hall of Fame again. And then you keep running momentum and you hit Hall of Fame again. And then you're running the SRS team with a handful of other really passionate, driven people who believe in all of this. And guys, like, I don't think this is me. I can't take credit for it. Like, this is all God. Like, this is all of what he's got going on. Like, there's a bigger plan that we've got to do it. But the belief of what I had envisioned for myself was so small. And Sean Mike goes, I got you, dog. Like, let's go. We're going to go run with this. But it takes us getting to work. It takes us getting up early on a Saturday when we don't want to, when we only got 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep, getting to the gym, getting up, getting in, actually listening to a podcast, plugging into a call like this, and then applying the information with the financial inventory that I've got. That financial inventory has got the silver question, the golden question. And guess what happens from there? Today, you guys are going to find an annuity opportunity, and someone here on this call is going to have me on a call on Monday. I'm going to help you protect that annuity. We're going to go ahead and move a couple $1 million this week. Someone here has got it. Someone here has got an opportunity that we're going to be moving a lot of money right now. And I believe it. And I know it's not just one person. There's a handful of you, and you're going to be able to duplicate this information. We're going to be able to take FFL to $2 billion by next year. I think one's great, but we're already there. Why don't we double it up? We're always been a double company. Why don't we go big?
Amen.
Why don't we go big? But guys,
Sure.
like, it's going to take each and every one of us to do more. And I don't mean like work harder, work longer. Let's do it all collectively, where we're working together as a unit and we're using all of our license. We're asking all of the questions. We're not leaving anything on the table for financial advisors or some other insurance agent to pick up behind. Because I tell you what, for many agents that have missed their opportunity, I bet you I picked up so many overskipped opportunities because people were scared. Guess what happens when you're scared? You're not on the abundance mindset. You're not on the wavelength, because you can have fear or you can have abundance. They can't be growing in the same place.
Yeah, they don't.
Guys,
They don't.
I could just literally rattle off for like an
Yeah,
hour.
dude. You crushed this call, by the way.
Thanks.
Like, give me a thumbs up. Like, give me a 10 in the chat if you think Jesse, like, I am not kidding. Hit me a 10 in the chat if you believe Jesse just crushed this call. Because, bro, I am telling you, you are fire. Fire. I love you, bro. Like, I had a list of questions down here. You just nailed all of them, bro. And then some. Like, I was taught early on, right? No one to shut up and listen. So I'm just shut up during this call, bro, because you crushed. Like, thank you so much. I do want to say something, because like, you touched on something that's really, really important, bro. I found some money yesterday. I'm going to find some money this week. And guess what? Your presentation, I want to emulate that. You know, I've done like $1.5 million in a year. I did 700,000 this year, close to it, all telesales.
Awesome,
bro. I'm going to emulate what you are doing, right? So I'm going to like get you in on a call. I'm going to like split some annuities with you, because we're going to crush it this year. I would suggest everyone do the same thing. If you want to get into the annuity space, the only thing that you have to do is ask that golden question. Hey, Jesse, what do you have that acts like life insurance? I don't know. You know, something like 401k, IRAs, 403b, TSP, something like that. that avoids probate. Or the silver question, are you saver or spender? I love that line, dude. Like, all you have to do is that. Right now, you have to do some legwork, right, Jesse? Give me the expectations of what the SRS team is expecting for when you give them a call. It's not like, hey, Jesse, I found some money, go do it, right? You have to do some legwork. What would you suggest are the questions that you need to make sure that the agents are asking prior to linking up with you, or any, like in the SRS team?
Have a pain point at least discovered, you know, because if they're like, I had someone call me yesterday, hey Jesse, a friend of mine, he's got a ton of money and I think we could help him out. Can I get on a call with you? I said, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get on a call with you, but what's the pain point? Like, what's the need we're looking to solve here? He's like, well, I don't really know. And I was like, okay, well,
Go
maybe
find out.
like, is he worried about losing money? Is he worried about gaining money? Did he lose money this year? Like, what's any pain point? Well, he lost 21%. Perfect. That's all we need to know. All right, let's run. Having your actual training, I'm not saying it has to be done now, but guys, please get contracted with Athene. Please check in the state that you're at. Please check and make sure you've got please write this down too. So make sure you're contracted. Make sure you've got the best interest suitability completed. Make sure you've got your state requirement CEs for annuities. So if you're in California, Washington, Texas, Florida, trying to think of the other ones that have specific state annuity training. And then a lot of states now, because they don't call us quote unquote fiduciaries, but we still have a fiduciary responsibility because we are handling retirement and we are handling money. So making sure that you have the best interest for ethics is completed. It's super easy to do. Get that completed. But if you don't, right off the bat, I get it. You know, a lot of people are getting contracted right now, and you may not have it, and you might find it today because I just lit a match under your butt. Making sure that's all done. If you have a statement, that's really helpful. If not, I just really need to know like age, goals, what they're doing, where it's at, you know, some of at least the basic schematics about what their goal is, right?
Got it.
Very important, making sure that your training is completed. But what's up, Big Omar? How you doing, bro?
All right.
But yeah, guys, like, I can't stress this enough. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till next year. Get started today on it, because if you have hit Hall of Fame, dude, I'm so proud of you. If you guys have a goal to hit Hall of Fame, go do it. And the fastest way, I'm telling you, if I would not have sold IULs and annuities, I more than likely would have hit Hall of Fame. But I was able to hit Hall of Fame and able to do a lot of other things within my business that allowed me to learn more about the craft, ask more questions, to grow more, to recruit more, to grow more, to work out, to take care of my personal life, to take care of my finances, to take care of my family, to get me back on track, right? It allows you to invest and buy more time because, like I mentioned, guys, the average annuity sales around 181,000. Let's just say you're splitting it, right? That's going to pay you probably at $4,000, $3,000 to $4,000 on a split. Yeah, it may not be much, but you're getting paid to take notes on $181,000. Like, I don't know about you guys, but sign me up anywhere. I can give you a lead, or I find some information, I pass it off to you, and then I get paid $3,000 to $4,000 to take notes or more. I would do that 700,000 days a day. Like, if I could get paid to take notes, because I got paid $0 to take notes, but now that I've paid to take notes, it's now rewarding me to where, in some cases, helping these families out. Like, one of my largest commissions was almost 6 figures from selling an annuity. Like, what? hold on.
Hello.
Let's wrap our head around this. I worked 80 hours a week for Tesla. I made $114,000 before taxes. And you're telling me I was almost making six figures, the same amount of on one client, one application, one process, $1 app, or
One question.
one question, a $1 lead that was on
Wow.
sale. So guys, and this is like, I might be a crazy guy because a lot of people are running all types of leads. Anytime that we can go and get sale on leads, like when FFL starts launching these, remember I told you I get this like weird buzzy feeling because it was literally 3 years ago I started here. 2 years ago is when I bought a whole big stack of leads through the Family First Life ILC because they had a 75% discount. I bought instance, I bought 1 month, and guess what happened? I helped the guy with final expense, got declined. I asked him the golden question. Yeah, Jesse, I got millions of dollars sitting in this. Well, if we could protect it moving forward, would you find value in it? Let's rock and roll. I got him on the call with Fidelity. Keep in mind, I lived in Nevada. He was in Florida. One of the main reasons I moved to Florida is because I realized there's a lot of retirement money down here. So I ended up getting on the phone, calling Fidelity. Fidelity gave us a statement. We did the application over the phone. We did the electronic signatures. I did everything 120% virtual, moving my largest annuity over the phone. Never saw the guy. And I went, how many more of these clients do I have in America? How many more of these guys are here? And like when situations happen, right? Your vision starts to stretch more. And when you start to break through those levels, stretches more, right? And then when you start to connect the dot, this is why we're going to end it on this. $72 trillion are moving from baby boomer to millennials right now when we're in the greatest wealth transfer ever to be around in the like ever. And what if you guys captured 0.00005% of it? You're a multimillionaire. I don't know about you, but if I can get 0.0005% of anything and I'm a millionaire, I want to get every little piece of it. And I'm not doing it, say, to be the millionaire, but guess what? How many more lives can we impact by donating to Dream Center or our church? How many more lives can we change by giving it to that nonprofit, helping people get off the streets, helping people get rehabilitated, helping people in other countries that need water, food, or clothes, or education? But it's by us, by giving, that we're going to intercept the 4 ways of spending, giving, saving, or investing. Why can't we do it all and do it more? And right now is the best time to do it. So let's just start today.
Bro, you have fired me the hell up. And I would say by far, we've had some amazing speakers this week. Hands down, bar none, the best this month. And we've had great speakers, bro. Thank you so much. You've dropped so many golden nuggets, Jesse. It's not even funny. And by the way, he is a red jacket Hall of Famer for annuities this year. He's got 2.2 million this year, right? So
that's
you're
personal
very
pen though.
You're very
there's been a lot of splits, so that's what I personally wrote. So it's closer to about 3.5, 4 million.
Exactly. That's just
that's
his
issued
share.
At least. That's issued. There's a lot more
That's
on the way.
Definitely, please make sure get Jesse involved. He's brought so much value to this call today. Like, let's repay Jesse back. Help him help you, right? And get him on the call. Make sure you do your due diligence. Find those pain points for the annuities. Give him a call, right? How do we get in touch with you, Jesse?
You can get my phone number here. I'll drop it in the chat. And also, I would recommend follow me on Instagram because of what I'm going to start doing is putting out like weekly training quips and then anything that has to do with just like phone objections or whatever. And there's also going to be talking about case studies. We're going to be talking about annuity training. So the one-liners and this, because if we can keep giving more information away and let's spread the word, whether I'm resharing what Shannon's doing or what Rob did or what Darnell did, like we're resharing each other's stuff if it's got value, because if we can get it into other networks, guess what? You might find a way to start capturing more fish into your big net on either on a recruiting basis or either to sell them life insurance, annuities, IULs. Like, let's just promote everybody and only talk about the good things that we're doing here. So yeah, my phone number's there. Find me on Instagram, which is stay primetime. Yeah, sometimes I get talking and my words kind of together. I have a video on my Instagram where I'm like, talk about compounding interest. And I said, those that know about compounding interest either have it or spend it. Compounding interest. I was like, compound. I don't know what compound is, but I'm like, all right, dude.
All right, man.
Goof,
well, Jesse, thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate your time, guys.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on again at some other point in time, but you've crushed this call, man. Thank you so much. And make sure, all right, because Sue is going to go ahead and drop this content. We have a YouTube channel. So Jesse, I'm going to go ahead and share that content with you so you can go ahead and edit it and share it, because you absolutely nailed it. And by the way, so we're going to put that in the chat. We'll share it. Just go ahead and click like, subscribe, and you'll go ahead and get the notifications. Everybody, thank you so much. It's a testament to have you on here so early in the morning. And thank you, Jesse, because, bro, crushed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. See you guys here at convention or walking across the stage here soon.
Absolutely, man.
If you didn't do it this year, it's for sure next year. So let's go.
So let's go. Holler, man. Thank you.
There. Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.